is that Diane Sawyer? Jesus Christ.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because number one, I'm
Oracle.
sweating this mustache off. And this was supposed to be stuck in my eye, but I got pink eye again. So I actually can't put it back.
Oh my god.
And is it fucked up if I return to Amazon?
You ordered that for this episode?
Yeah, and I also ordered a fucking pipe, but it got delayed 3 days.
The pipe's on next week. The pipe is a paid actor that did not get it.
So I actually, dead ass, I'm so pissed about it. I already returned it. I canceled the delivery. Is it fucked up? Is it gross if I just like let this sit in my eye?
No, let's see how you do that.
Actually, I'm now realizing that I bought a magnifying one instead of a regular one. If I drink this, is it gonna get on my mustache?
That's the name of the game.
Drink it like a cat. Guys!
Good.
I need to...
Are you taking it off?
No, I'm just lowering it. It's soaking
That was
wet.
too good.
It's literally the furry part is wet. Oh, now I look like a beaver.
Grace was like, Riley has something prepared that we don't know about. And I was like, I have no idea. Grace was nervous about it all morning. I was like,
You were?
Yes, you brought out the Oracle.
This was about... Well, there's more to it. I was thinking... Well, guys, welcome back to First and Foremost. I'd like to thank...
Welcome back to episode 4.
That's crazy.
wow.
Special guest today, Jane.
Wham. Oh my god, well, welcome.
This has been sitting in the Shevlin household for circa day 2008.
And I'm glad it's getting its flowers.
It really is.
It's blooming.
So I have 2 things that... So welcome, Jane. It's lovely to have you. We've met once briefly over FaceTime. Stop, I can't. The mustache rolls up when I laugh. And so I was thinking, if it's okay with Lady Grace, that I do have an idea for like a pop culture topic, but that's a little later into the episode.
Okay.
But my first thing is, since this is a late show, obviously, I wrote down some questions for us to get to know our guest.
Okay.
This is really, really exciting.
And I was thinking we could title the episode The Jane Meeting.
Yes.
The meeting of Jane.
I also am curious, anyone that's watching this, we haven't talked in a couple years. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see your face.
They're like, why do I know her?
They're like, what is she doing on my social media? I'm here.
No,
Back.
First question, social security number.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great.
I said that to Grace like last episode, and when she started listing a number, I was like, oh my god, she's really doing it. And then I'm like, she's actually not that
I
dumb.
was raised by the same mother, so she better know.
She
Period.
better know.
Grace, also feel free to jump in here, kind of elaborate. We can also add these questions to you.
Okay.
These are kind of going to be what I put together as get to know Jane, rapid fire Jane.
I'm obsessed. This is my my forte.
I'm so glad you said that. Jane, where are you joining us from? Nope, that's not what I meant to say. I mean, where did you travel from?
We're traveling from Big Apple all the way to San Diego.
Just
So
one Big Apple.
Top 2 cities in America. Like, just throw that out there. But yeah, New York City is home base.
Love that. What do you love so much about NYC, in the way of New York?
Favorite part of New York, I'm going on 1 year in the city. So this is a big inflection point. You know, we're like, what do we love? What do we hate? I'm going to say biggest hate is the subway and the bugs. I was subway, but the heat is really not okay, and it can ruin an entire look that you put together really quickly. So that is a huge put down. And when you're financing, you can't afford the Uber, you really have to, sink in.
You got to kind of take one for the team, and by team, the bank account.
The bank account.
And of course, hate.
Yeah.
I started of course, she what?
Started with hate.
I'm sorry. I'm sometimes a pessimist, but we'll just not go there. Also, toxic positivity at times. We're a confusing bunch. We're going to go
toxic positivity? What is that?
You don't know what toxic positivity is?
Positivity.
Positivity?
Positivity is like...
I love cavatappi. Sorry.
Grace would be considered toxic positivity at times. It's the type of person, if like it's raining outside and they're like, no, you'll have sun on your wedding day. Just wait an hour. It's such a beautiful day. And you're like, girl, it's raining, right? Like,
let's just see it for what it is and work with that.
Right. But let's bring up the positive. My biggest love of New York City is that there's this perception that maybe it's big and scary, but this is also advice, I guess, so I'm throwing that in there for anyone listening.
Period. I do have that question down later, so I love that you're reading my mind.
Right in. Make a little community on your street, on your block, and that's my favorite part. Like, I know the guy who gives my coffee every morning. I know the guy who makes my pizza every night. Every night?
That's where the Uber money's going.
I even know him. His name's Paco.
Shout out Paco. I love Paco pizza. But yeah, I just love like a little community. Okay, a little community in New York City is beautiful because
I can't take him seriously with a mustache.
I know
it's so irritating. It's gonna come off soon.
I'll never forget one day I was walking to my boyfriend's house and I was like having a New York City day. Like Subway swept me.
Grace is like brag about it.
My dinner went wrong because my oven broke. Like, I bought groceries and then my oven broke that night. So I was like, I literally hate my life because now I can't cook all the shit I just bought. So then I'm like walking to Chipotle, like going to my boyfriend's house, whatever. And this guy falls off his motorcycle. It was so crazy. He was like going to a stoplight. And I'm not kidding you, 9 people I was walking on the street with ran over to help him. And I was like, you know what? This is the silver lining. You know, we got community.
So honestly, if we want to get down to the nitty gritty of it, what I'm taking away is that you yourself are not a believer in the bystander effect, or maybe you do understand the bystander effect. If somebody were to jump in and help, you're like, I'm good, walk the other way. So why do you hate helping other humans?
And I did take a second guess. Let's just picture me. I see him fall, and then I look down at my Chipotle bag. I'm like, shit. We could keep walking, but we're gonna stop. Like, it was there, but
I'm gonna stop to look and point, and I will take out my camera.
That was what I was gonna do, and then I obviously pulled the ethics back. Let's keep our cameras away. But what I did was make sure that he was safe, right? He had all of the more important pedestrians that probably go to the gym, all that type of stuff, and I'm like, you guys should probably grab him, you know what I mean? Like, you guys got him, I'm just gonna keep on moving.
We need Anthony Porosky from Queer Eye to run out there and lift.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was those type of people, and I'm like, I don't need to be there. In that mess.
I honestly, I respect that. I don't think I would be much help aside from a minor comic relief. And in that situation, I don't think they'd want me there.
That's honestly they wouldn't. That's beyond the bystander effect. That's called socially aware bystander effect. Mm-hmm. That is a new term we're coining.
I'm aware that people don't want me in their presence to help manually.
Exactly.
And that I'm okay with. Moving on.
Can you put your spectacle on, please?
But of course. Yeah. What if I just... Anyway. I don't know how interviewers do this. I feel like I would panic too much and like not know what question to ask next. Oh my god, do you see that light?
Whoa.
Wow. That's magic. What?
What?
Anyway. Are you a celebrator of Halloween? And if you are, what is it you're looking forward to this year?
Oh, that's a cute question. So I'm an October baby, so like that's the more important holiday of the month.
When's your birthday?
Mean Girls Day, October 3rd.
Heard.
I like that day. I'm not a big Halloween person because I personally don't like horror, don't like scary. Every single year.
You and your sister.
Yeah, we don't do that scary type of thing.
No.
We keep it more like cutesy, demure.
No, I keep it more like, let me dress up as a boy.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
We have different visions on Halloween. Like, let's just talk about this. Your host of this podcast is the antithesis of her sister. Like, when Grace was dressing up as a sushi roll, I was dressing up as a black hat. Like, I was the basic bitch on the block. Like,
that's
I
okay.
was the crowd for the first, all of high school, just like kept it very Kept it very simple.
Demure, very cute.
Very, very simple. And I costumes are a whole nother category of enjoyment.
I am violently aware of when I can celebrate something and have an excuse to dress up. And I hate to say that because it comes with the spending of money.
That's the thing.
But I'm going to do it.
So what's your grade? I don't know if you guys talked about this, because I'm going to be honest, I only listened to episode 1 so far, but I will be getting to 2 and 3. I'm busy. What is your favorite Halloween costume you've ever been? Because Grace has had some absolutely crazy costumes, if you haven't heard about these.
I have, and I've seen footage, and I...
I'll relay my Halloween costumes throughout the years. Okay. Kindergarten. No, preschool.
We're going back.
Rockstar Ghost. I'll insert photos. Rockstar Ghost. First grade, I don't remember what I was for kindergarten. First grade, sushi. Second grade, refrigerator.
That feels...
Second grade, refrigerator, and when you opened the door, it was food taped onto my shirt. And it had pictures on the refrigerator, everything.
They're like, what smells like fish? And it's just you walking around with rotten salmon.
She had Velcro play food attached to her shirt, so when you open the fridge, kids could pull off the fruit from her shirt. It was absolutely amazing.
And when I got too hot throughout the night, because I don't know, I took off the refrigerator and I just had the food shirt on.
It was perfect.
For the rest of trick-or-treating. Then, third grade, I was a Redbox machine.
Redbox hit different.
Redbox machine.
What is Redbox?
Remember that movie thing at Giant where you could get movies for $1?
Yeah, wasn't that Netflix? That was literally Netflix.
Was it?
Oh yeah, it was.
And then Redbox became Netflix?
Yeah.
I think
Whoa.
so. They had one outside of our CVS.
They should sponsor us.
Yeah, sponsored.
And put us on Netflix. Okay.
Please.
Next question.
We can do a late show like Chelsea Handler did, where it was all sitting in the circle.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Fourth grade, I was Hurricane Irene.
I'm like her biggest fan.
Hurricane Irene?
Fourth grade, you were Hurricane Irene, bitch. You better not forget it.
How did you,
That was such a good costume.
I'll insert photos.
Photos here.
Okay, we cut out the hurricane sign, like the symbol, and then I had branches, and my hair was all crazy, and I had Polly
a
Pockets.
hairspray whole moment with twigs in it.
And
with Twix, the candy.
I'm literally so addicted to chocolate.
I had Polly Pockets falling over the branches on the thing. And then fifth grade,
That
I was
is
Rainbow
so
Loom.
creative.
It was so good.
I was Rainbow Loom for fifth grade, where I had the cups and then the big rubber bands, and I did my whole makeup rainbow. So,
on that note, my sister was one-upping me every Halloween, and it still is that same thing 23 years later. So.
I literally don't think I've had a good Halloween costume. I stopped going trick-or-treating in the 5th grade, I think, because I didn't have friends, and I was nobody wanted to trick-or-treat with me.
You would have been there with Hurricane Irene.
I would have loved it. My people were not I didn't have people. So I didn't do that. And then high school, I actually don't think I did anything for Halloween now that I think about it.
It was like parties. Remember trick-or-treating wasn't cool anymore, and then you're supposed to just drink in someone's basement, and you're like,
yeah.
Wait, what about the candy?
I still went trick-or-treating all of high school.
Yeah.
I didn't get invited to parties. Why am I yelling? I'm like, I didn't get invited to fucking parties. No, I don't. I'm sure there was one that I got invited to. Brag about it. But can't remember it. Then college, freshman year, I think I went home that weekend. I'm not kidding. I literally did not have friends. I think I went home.
We're friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
We are friends. Girl! I think I went home. And then sophomore year was... I did... Oh my god, I'm literally blanking. Sophomore year I did do something, but I can't remember. I think it was the Mean Girls. I dressed up as Karen, and my boyfriend dressed up as... Gretchen, and his roommate, our friend Katie, dressed up as Regina. And I was literally just they looked cute. I was just in a black button down that was open with a K bedazzled on my chest backwards. It was just a boring outfit. I was just I tried. And then last year for Halloween, I went, senior year, I don't know what I did junior year. Senior year, I had like multiple outfits and they were all god awful. I went as Joe from Mew, and I was like, I'm gonna be so funny, and I'm gonna duct tape a trash bag to look like a body, but obviously trash bags aren't that long, so it looked like I was just carrying a deceased child. It's not a joke. I literally just had a body bag and I made it look like a head, duct tape around it, and I tied the end. It was very questionable.
I
don't
want
want
to know
very...
what the other people on the street were thinking about you as they passed by you.
And what's worse is I went. It was during the day, so we were doing a darty, and I'm like, and I was like, if we go to a bar, I'm not getting let in. I was like, no way in hell.
They're like, we have a murderer on the street.
They said we need to see his ID.
They said drop it, and then I did a second Halloween. I did multiple Halloween costumes senior year. I can't remember what the one I wore to a party was, but or like at the bar. But the one I was in like skeleton makeup, I think, like Tate Langdon, I think it was. And we left the bar and I was like feeling good, whatever. And in Penn State, there's like this back alley that like has steps that go down to like different stores. So it's like 2 levels of different stores. Actually it's 3 levels, I guess. It's very weird. But I walked down there and I was walking back up and some guy just walked past. He looked at us. He goes, faggot. And I said, I said, oh, where? What? And that ruined my night. And I was like,
but you're like, I'm dressed as a skeleton, bruh.
I dressed as a literal.
I don't have identity this evening. Like,
dead ass. I was like, I have to leave. And then I do remember junior year, I went in drag, but we already told us. Or did I tell that story on here?
I've never seen you in drag, Riley.
No, you didn't tell the story. But yes, you did. Yes, you did. When you ran
remember.
around.
Yeah. So I went in drag, and a friend was like, oh, you can wear my heels. And I was like, just in addition to the story, I was like, oh, perfect. But my boyfriend's like, you look like a giant in the heels. So I had to wear running sneakers. And my makeup wasn't good. So, and they're like, oh, we're going to a Bimmy mansion. So it was like Playboy themed. I don't know. And I wore a Playboy mask.
Stop.
And like that was it. And the skin tight dress. And I like tucked a little bit with packing tape. And then that shit came off in the bathroom. That shit came right off in the bathroom.
You would have been kicked off RuPaul's immediately, dude.
Yeah, that's
I would have been. A bullet would have been put between my eyes if I went on Drag Race. And then last year it was the worst. I went as a baby.
Oh.
Yeah, no, not good. And I went out in New York City and I was in boxers, a baby tee, and I had a binky and a bib. And it was the worst I've ever looked. And some girl, we were like, you know when you like stand face to face with someone, you do like a side shuffle?
Yeah.
Like to get around them. In a bar, we were doing that. And she's like, oh, sorry. And I was like, no worries. And she goes, eyes me up and down. She goes, what are you? And I said, oh. And she goes, are you like a baby or something? And I said, I'm a baby. And then she walked away. You did the exact same thing. So I said, you're not going to give me a compliment. Was it like really that bad? But
my Halloween costumes last year were literally elite.
They were great. I've seen videos.
I didn't even remember what I was last year. I don't even think I did.
You were a New Yorker.
I was a New York City tourist. I literally went to the Hallmark on my block and just grabbed a t-shirt. But I will say
that's fun.
My best costumes were definitely like in my high school years. Relating to you, like I just tried to be like the funny person, just to like that's who I was. Like I was just the comic. So my costumes were never serious. Like I never dressed like sexy or anything. So I remember sophomore year I was the Pope, and I dressed up as like in my like communion dress. And then junior year I was Santa Claus, and I went to a literal party in a belly, like a belly with the hat, the beard.
This is the honorable mention.
The best.
Yeah. What are you? Oh! Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Baby girl,
Riley.
it's...
And me and Lily were walking down the street, and literally 3 people, like, thought we were boys, and one guy was like, have a good night, boys. We're like...
Fuck.
Humbling. It was great.
You said, do my tits not look voluptuous in this?
Like, it was the most fun I've ever had.
I love
feel
that.
like we don't need to, like, whatever you want. Like, I want to start emulating Halloween this year. Like, this is actually brewing in me. Let's talk about what I should be this year, because I'm thinking I don't want to be I want to be something so unique that people are so caught off guard. Like, what's something pop culture I could be this year that, like, wow.
I love that, and I'm not giving it away yet because Grace and I are going to do an episode in our costumes, and
Okay.
I've already started working on mine, but that is something I've had difficulty with. I'm like trying to find moments that
I know
can be something. I'll give you the one that I really, really wanted to do that I'm not going to be able to do, and feel free to take this. Chappell Roan, obviously, which I feel like a lot of people are going to do.
Yeah.
That was my first idea, and I was going to do so Divine, the drag queen, very famous drag queen, inspired Ursula.
Okay.
Chappell went on stage as her in like the red dress, the big hair, makeup, everything, and then she took that off and she was in a skin tight latex like leopard bodysuit with these leopard fur boots and the big red wig and a choker. And I was like, I want to do that so bad. And I was like looking all around, and I really wanted it to be close, but her bodysuit had buoy cups, and like she has great tits, and they were just sitting out. They were just sitting out there, and I'm like, I'm not buying a breastplate, and I don't want to have.
No.
I don't want to be in drag and have a bra showing, and then just like I could put my whole hand through it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Like I'd rather have it covered.
Like, what if I just was like a version of Chappell, but like I was just she hates when people call her real name. But, like, I could just be, like I
the
want
Midwest
to be
Princess.
Pop culture. Like, I love when people have a costume that's, like, a reference that's very niche. Like, people are like, oh, my God, I get that, and then everyone else doesn't. Do you know what I mean?
My thinking with that is, like, what if you... So, her album's called The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. What if you get, like, a fun, a cute camo dress, make sure it's tight at the waist, big push-up bra, tits out, big red curly wig... And do like you don't have to do exactly Chappell drag, but like her usual look of like the blue, the pink, like like a paler face, and then you're kind of oh my God, you can even do a camo hat, and then you're with a crown on top, and then you're the Midwest Princess.
So true.
That would be iconic.
Why am I really good at this?
I have a story that's I want to tell that I think would this
Please
podcast.
Do.
Because I feel like this podcast is kind of like a part, like 25% Chappell Roan fan page, a little bit.
We love Chappell over here.
But this is my, and she's obviously like, I think a really good conversation because we're talking about pop culture on the podcast, and she is trying to, you know, restart the whole pop culture world that fans should probably be the parasocial relationship. We can't even get into that. But anyway, Chappell Roan, icon. She came, I was working late show, so I'm a CBS page, whatever, and I was working...
All right.
I was working late show, and we won't go all the way into that, but I was working a shift at the Stephen Colbert show, and it was like November of last year, so 2023, and Chappell Roan was performing that night, but no one knew who she was at all, and I know at that point people knew, but no one in the Stephen Colbert crowd knew. None of us knew. She was opening for Rodrigo at that point, Olivia. Like, that was all she was.
Rodrigo.
Sorry.
I was like, who the fuck is Rodrigo?
Sorry.
I was like, does Steven have a code name that he goes as? She was opening for Rodrigo.
Okay, Rodrigo. Totally a whole different persona. I'll keep the first name there. Anyway, opening for her, long story short, she was doing like one song. Like if you come to late show, you just play one song and like it's at the end of the episode. Anyway, her parents were there because like they were going to come see her perform. But they were only going to come for the musical performance, whatever. So it's like our job as pages to go grab any of like the talent's people and come give them their seat. So I remember like Chappell's setup obviously is going to take a minute because has a whole set. She brought like a swing. If you go watch it, she had like
it's fantastic.
She sang Red Wine Supernova. It was like her one song on late shows. Incredible. In that moment, Grace, you didn't really know Chappell. I'm going to say that.
I didn't know her until this summer.
Yeah.
Riley showed me her.
And then, and I was like, this girl, I don't think I even told anyone, but I was amazed by her voice. But the point of the story is that I sat her parents, and while they were setting up the stage, I said, oh my gosh, it was her parents and then two of the dancers' parents. So there was 6 parents that I had to walk in. And I remember they sat down and I was chatting. And I will be honest, I don't know if this was the dancers' parents or Chappell's parents. But I was chatting with them. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I say this every time if I'm going to be honest. I didn't know who Chappell was. But now it sticks with me. And the parents looked at me and they said, oh, well, she's going to be very, very famous. So you should really enjoy this performance.
Oh my God.
And they said it so confidently. And they were like, oh, my daughter's going to be really famous. Like, I have a feeling about that. And they were like, I have a feeling. They said something like, she's going to be really famous, so enjoy this. And I was like, that's kind of a weird comment for a parent to make. Like, you know? And then I was like, I look back now, I'm like, holy crap, that was almost a year ago today.
That's like a cocky statement, but like if you think about it, that's like...
But it's so Chappell coded. It's so
and that's your
Chappell
parents
coded.
Putting all their faith into you, and I love that.
But if you like look at her trajectory too, like she had 10 years of work, so I think that was probably a big moment for her parents. Like we're sitting in the Late Show crowd right now. Like that was a big make. You know, like that was her national TV broadcast. So
that's crazy. Yeah, that was her first live show, right?
Yeah, first live show. That's
crazy. Speaking of Femininomenon. It's sweat off.
Speaking of Femininomenon.
Xenadelphia. Another, first and foremost, staple here at the club. She's released her first EP, or was it her first EP? Or her second? Oh god, now I sound like a fake fan. Called The Magazine.
Okay.
Fantastic. Yes. Did you listen to it, Grace?
Yeah, I did.
So good. My favorite song, new song. My favorite was probably Zinfandel, I'm not gonna lie. Out of the new stuff, I thought my favorite was Snap Out of It. It's like a 60s, like snap. It's like a very good beat. But then I like re-listened to it this morning and Knock the Wind. Oh, I need everybody to pause this episode. Listen to that in a room where there are no others. I love that. I keep saying that. I gotta stop. And it is so fierce, fantastic. And I would die to go to her show in New York. I unfortunately did not get tickets, and she is fully sold out. Okay, to wrap up our interview portion, because this mustache is giving me third-degree burns, we are going to tackle some rapid-fire questions. Okay. And Grace, let's have you participate as well.
Okay.
Rapid fire, don't take too long to think, kind of the first thing that comes to your head, okay?
Okay.
What is your favorite part of your morning skincare routine?
Serum.
I don't do skincare.
You don't do skincare?
No, I don't wash my face.
Look at our skins. Hers is better. So.
Fantastic. Love that. What do you really hate right now?
Go first.
Don't think about it.
I really, really hate Apple's charging system. Like, can we just have one? We don't need a USB-C, USB other C.
There's like tea about that because it's from London that they made us switch to like USB-C.
I'm pissed. Okay, I bought one cord. Now I have 7 cords that I don't need for my old iPhone.
Donate them.
If anyone needs a regular charging cord, I have 7 in my room.
I hate that I haven't rotted in my bed one day since I've been here.
Big ups. Big respect on that one. Are we registered to vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Period. And Grace, what do you do if you're out of state?
Absentee ballot.
Period.
I filled out my absentee ballot.
Period, but...
No, she's in New York.
Yes, well now my Pennsylvania ballot will be getting shipped to New York, and I won't say anything, but there's a reason I stayed in the swing state, alright?
Period. Everyone should stay. Everyone should stay in swing states if they are. We need Kamala Nomenon. Why is it important for ugly people to stand up for themselves?
Jesus Christ. Because we make people laugh.
Oh, that's not my answer.
Because everyone's beautiful. No one's ugly.
Oh, I hate these PC answers. It's because they deserve a shot just like we do. Anyway, kidding.
Podcast. I'm not getting canceled on set. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Anything/anyone in recent pop culture that you admire?
Grace.
Oh, that's so sweet.
The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's cray.
Crazy.
After the other night, this is like this week, I'm listening to Tyla because I was obsessed with her vibes at the VMAs, and I'm very much like Ask Grace. We have different music styles. I'm more of like R&B vibe, and then I got into her album because she has the Make Me Sweat, Make Me Water.
Yeah.
So like
Me lose my breath, make me water.
Grace,
So,
get up and do the dance
that-
for everyone.
yeah. So like I'm vibing with her this week because I wish I could move my hips like her.
Me too. Okay, that was actually the last question. I lied. There weren't two. Because the last one is our, guys, the mustache is leaving.
Rip it.
Oh.
I'd like to thank the mustache for literally working overtime this whole podcast.
Oh
my god, it's a different person.
Holy shit, it hurt. It stings.
Riley, I didn't know you were there.
I've been here, guys. Don't worry. Okay, so
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
this kind of can actually still stay in our question category, but it's also just, it's a thought I had last night that I wanted to bring up.
Oh.
So last night I watched two movies. The first movie was Private Life with Kathryn Hahn and Paul Giamatti, and it's about a couple who literally is struggling to have a child in any capacity, and it's so sad. It is actually an incredibly well done movie. It's beautifully shot, beautifully acted, but it is so sad. Anyway, not the point. The second movie I watched was The Edge of Tomorrow with Emily Blunt and a 5-foot-tall Scientologist. And that movie was honestly great.
Really?
Has anybody seen The Edge of Tomorrow?
I've seen the press.
Mm.
That's it.
So, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I ain't going barking at a bitch, ain't going barking at me.
Edge of Tomorrow is basically aliens are attacking all of... Ow! I just hit my... Oh my god, why did my tongue look yellow? Edge of Tomorrow is basically about aliens attacking the world, and
Hate that stuff.
all the governments are like putting together teams to go fight it. Whatever. And Tom Cruise, he gets shipped out to England to go fight it, and then he goes there and he realizes that it's like game over, and that the aliens knew they were coming somehow. Crazy. Body not T actually, body dead. And he dies. And the second he dies, it's like 25 minutes into the movie. He dies. The second he dies, it restarts. And it goes right back to when he got shipped there. And then I'm like...
Like Sweet Life on Deck.
What?
Sure. I don't know.
That is so...
Did that happen in Sweet Life on Deck?
They just kept reliving the same day over and over.
Yeah,
In
so
one
that's
episode.
basically it. That's basically it. But he works with Emily Blunt to find, like, the main source and kill it. Whatever. So I was thinking, not in a dark, deep, scary, dramatic trauma way, but in a more lighthearted way, is there something you would go back and redo? Not
Ooh.
saying it's life-altering,
No.
but just something you would switch or change, because I believe that everything happens for a reason. So, like, I wouldn't change something because that made me who I am now.
Ooh.
Are you asking a question or just showing us your muscles?
I wanted to say my answer.
Oh,
yeah, I
period.
need a minute.
A continuation of that question is, do you believe that we as humans should have the possibility to change one thing in our past personal lives from ever happening, or adjusting it to what it could be?
I don't think we should change anything that happens, but if I were to change something, it would be in 4th grade, someone telling me that a certain someone wasn't real, and that it broke all of my imagination, and I never felt the same again.
Wow.
And no
That's
day,
tea.
that day was never the same, and I still believe that he is real. So,
And just so you guys know who she's talking about, she's talking about Adolf Hitler. Sorry, not funny.
At all, actually. Sorry, it was like, take that whole part out of the Sometimes I don't know how to react correctly. Okay. My turn.
No, that was. Yeah, please go.
If I could change one, I have like a boring one.
Nothing's boring if it's from. I don't actually know what it's gonna say. Shit. I don't actually have one, so as I'm speaking, I'm going to come up with it. Number one, I don't think humans and the human race should have the opportunity to change one thing in their past personal lives, because I do believe it would change the outcome of where they are now, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But not on a deep level. If I could change one thing, it would probably be... I think we talked about this in episode 1 where I got the nickname Bitch Boy. Or do we not talk about that?
No,
I would probably use my brain a little harder and Google what that meant. Instead of having the entire high school call me Bitch Boy because of the football team.
And you thinking it was a compliment?
And me thinking it was a compliment. And only realizing in sophomore year of college when I told my boyfriend, he said, "That's not something to be proud of." And I said,
"Oh, that's not."
Oh, in the sense that...
Okay, love that.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna go on like maybe just a not deep scale and say that I wish this is kind of deep. I wish I never got addicted to TikTok.
Oh, I didn't know where that was going.
I'm like actually so addicted to TikTok to the point that I got affected. Like, I don't need this 10-step skincare routine, and now I'm stuck. Like, so overconsumption core. Never heard of her. Like,
No,
I have friends that never got TikTok. Like, Adam just doesn't have TikTok.
Her boyfriend.
My boyfriend, Adam. And I feel like he's just very, he does reel. But there's no, like, TikTok is like, as if you relate and you grew up as a YouTube kid, like, being so obsessed with watching someone's everyday life. Like, I have now the scale of YouTubers that I watch. Like, I probably was dedicated to, like, 10 of them. I'm dedicated to like 50 TikTokers that I need to know what's happening in their life. So
yeah, I do feel like we live in a kind of world where I can't even shit on it because it's my job and I do enjoy it, but we do live in a world where we are so volatilely, is that a word? Does that mean aggressive? Yeah. So aggressively addicted to following this commercial lifestyle that we get presented online, that makes us feel as though we are these people, or we can be these people, which is true in a sense. Like, if you put your mind to it, you can do whatever, which it sounds like the most cheesy thing, but like, honestly, if you want to be an influencer, just like, don't be embarrassed and just put out as much as you can always. And I love that. But I do think overconsumption in that sense has like taken over how we do everything.
Like, no, there's no scaling it back now because this is deep. But like on YouTube, I felt like, or even TV, like you were passively watching. Like, you didn't need to relate to them, or you didn't need to, you just were watching them for entertainment. And now TikTok has created so many niche communities. Like, you could be a part, like every part of my life is in, like, I follow like wedding videographers, as well as people that are in the entertainment industry, as well as like literally just the food I eat every day, like those type of people. So like, we have curated this perfect formula that's too perfect and too addictive. Because now we're not even passively watching, we're purchasing. And I think it's pretty eye-opening. But also, it just shows that you have to have your own healthy boundaries. So that was my whole point of being like, I could be better about how many people I'm consuming from. Like, first and foremost, great podcast, just passively enjoying pop culture, whereas some people are getting a little too invested in everyday life.
People just love our podcast so much they can't stop watching.
Yeah.
It's so true. Addictive. I literally have to call stalkers away every day. And he's like, I'm the mailman. I'm like, please, why do you know my address? You know what I mean? Anyway.
What were you going to say?
Oh my god, it just echoed. You know what sucks? When some people have been trying for so many years to be an influencer and they haven't gotten their viral moment yet. And that would include all three of us.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I would. I do wish we could. It's a
Wait, but guys, are we getting deep? Because I think there's something to be said about going viral. Like, I think keeping a nice, like, 50K community online is really beautiful. And if we're going to take anything from becoming viral, it also comes with a lot of hate. Can we talk about that?
I'm ready for hate. I can handle it.
I know. There's, yeah.
Me too.
Okay. All right, guys.
I would like to add into what our Lord and Savior Chappell Roan did say, whereas she was like, there is this awkward connection of people assuming that I am their close best buddy, and she is in the position she is in because she's fucking fantastic at what she does, and she markets it in such a casual way because because she loves what she does, and she loves doing the essence of drag, and she's really good at it. And that just so happened to get her to the point where she is. And so that is the difference. And when people come up and scream at her for a photo and call her a bitch for not taking a photo, I think that's wrong, because she's in the position where she wants to be successful at what she loves to do, and that's great, but she didn't necessarily ask for not that anyone, well, actually I disagree with that. She didn't ask for the obsession stalkingness that has been going on with her, whereas there are people who like want that. They want to be, they call the paparazzi on themselves. They tell people where they're going to be so they can have meetups. Like, they want that. And I think that's a difference where you have to respect the individual that you are idolizing and fucking jerking it to, because they might not want you in their front of their mom's house. You know what I'm saying?
Important conversation foremost, you know?
Like, when Grace and I reach the point of fame where people want to stop us on the street when we're just trying to grab a cafe con leche, that's not going to make the cut.
Latte macchiato, buongiorno.
Sí.
Correcto, está bien.
But when people want to come up and interrupt us when we're just chatting on the street in Soho before we go shopping, and they're like, can I get a photo? I'm like, yeah, no worries. Like, I would love to give you a photo. But that's because
I think that I will say, let me
present
back
that.
everything. Sorry, Riley. There's two different types of, people, and I think you two definitely fit the cut for fame, okay? I'm going to pull myself out, and I think you two are ready.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I have always wanted to be famous. I hate to say it. And I know everybody already knows that.
Yeah, same.
You guys will be famous. I have no doubt. We're manifesting it. This is just a cute conversation that will appear in your documentary in 20 years. Don't worry.
That's quote that shit now. Wait, what is the documentary being made on? You mean like a 60 Minutes with Anderson Cooper?
Maybe.
It better not be.
No, I think you guys are way more...
It better not be like a flop documentary.
Fire Festival of a podcast.
Deadass, I don't need to get Faye Dunaway in 20 years already. I'd rather Anderson Cooper doing a monotone. Yeah. I'm talking... obviously the debate just happened. Trump can fuck off, hate him. But I was chatting with my besties about David Muir, one of the moderators, and how
we love
fine he is. And we were talking, and my one best friend Kira...
2020, it's like he's sexy every week. I tune in.
My one friend Kira goes, and I was like, oh, he's gay. And my one friend Kira goes, the 2020 guy is gay? And I said, okay, old ass. Like, why is she referencing... And you just did it too, so you're old as well. Why are we referencing his... One,
no, it's a good show.
Afternoon special show.
It's like 1 week they do a crime. They did the story on the Ruby Frank YouTube star, if you know that. This was my vision, and I'm going to throw and shout out that, like, I feel like some of the networks, like, I've seen, like, Hannah Berner get to go on, like, Today Show, or, like, Jake Shane was on CBS. Like, I could see you guys, and, like, people are definitely, or, like, the other generation of, like, mainstream news is seeing TikTok and seeing influencers, and
yeah, I agree, and I think I'm talking so much, so I apologize, Grace, if you want to shoot me in the brain, but like Addison Rae, I used to like cringe at TikToks like that because I just am like, ooh, dancing, like all that stuff. But now she is like number one, so cunt, so hot.
Diet Pepsi, what?
Period. She body tee, outfit tee, face card. Like she just is so pretty. The music she makes is fun. It's dancey, but it still has a story, just like Brat. Like I and she was doing an interview where I guess people were making fun of her for how she got famous, whatever you
I didn't see that.
claim famous. And I think it was on the red carpet of the VMA, she was discussing it, and she was like, well, people love to be like, oh, well, she got famous through TikTok, she got famous through Instagram, she got famous through YouTube. She's like, there's so many different avenues of how to get famous, that why is this one a bad thing? And I think that ideal stems from, I'm going to get shot for this, from like old Hollywood, like the Tinseltown era, where all these big name celebrities are like, oh, what are they from? Oh, they didn't work their ass off in comedy groups and comedy clubs. I'm like, that's not fair. You both worked your ass off, just down different roads. Like, she's putting out 89 TikTok videos a day talking about her comedy or her stories or XYZ and all this stuff. And you busted your ass in auditions and interviews, and you still are reaching a same level of fame and
there's a new way to
appreciation.
And it's being authentic, and I think that intimidates a lot of people in old Hollywood. It intimidates a lot.
I agree, and I have to put my glasses on because I'm getting a headache from not being able to see the screen. I gotta stop. I think that is like a big argument because like Brittany Broski talks about it all the time, how like TikTokers and influencers are always so looked down on. But like, just because they're the ones hosting the carpets and interviewing you on the red carpets doesn't mean they're not going to soar past you financially.
Facts.
or publicly, like public view. Right. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know how we got on this conversation.
I love
Chappell.
Oh.
Always. Yeah, well,
everything goes back to Chappell.
Everything.
Okay, so
So now we're going to be doing first and foremost, I'd like to thank. So mine today, I'd like to thank the gods above for yesterday when I was driving. When I was driving in Little Italy downtown, and it was my first time. I haven't really driven on the freeway yet these days, so I took a whole car with me, and I was driving and sitting, and we were at train tracks, and the train track things went up. A train passed. The things went up, and another car went through, and then I was like, okay, do I go? And I started to go, and then they started to close down again like 10 seconds later. So now the thing was about to close on me, and I had to reverse very quickly, and there was a car behind me, and I somehow survived.
And there was the car was packed.
Yeah, the car was packed.
Grace, I don't know if you should be driving.
That wasn't my fault.
That is not your fault at all, and I'm really proud of your quick thinking and your good skills on how to traverse what could have actually been the worst day of your life. Or the last day.
The last day.
Grace is adorable on the freeway. She'll be in the right lane and she'll be like, holy shit, oh my god, there's an exit. Jane, do I have to get over? I'm like, yep.
I need to experience it firsthand. We should do an episode in the car while you're driving.
I never drove us. You always drove us.
Wait,
literally.
Back karaoke for first and foremost, and you guys are each in the car talking?
No.
Yeah, we should.
James Corden never needs to be back on the screen.
No, God, greener. I saw James
I would
Corden.
love us to do it, though.
Yes. Okay, Riley?
Okay, my first and foremost is, I'd like to thank Catherine Hahn. I literally do a different... Did I say her last week?
No.
Who did I say last week?
You said Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
I like thank Catherine Hahn. And I feel like my first and foremost might always be women, and that's okay. They are the foreground of our country. I love Catherine Hahn so much. She is not only stunning, but not only intelligent, not only talented, but hilarious. She has so much, and everything. I just rewatched WandaVision. Obviously, we just spoke about that. She ate it up in that. And I'm watching every press interview she's doing for Agatha all along, and it's just making me so excited. She genuinely seems like she's having a good time.
That's
and
awesome.
There's suspicions that her and Aubrey Plaza might be a little lesbian in the show, and I'm very here for that.
Wait, is Aubrey Plaza queer?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Okay, Slay. She also
so
did
that's
her...
my first foremost.
What about her post with her cat? That was epic.
Saw that.
Alright, first and foremost, I'd like to thank two people on the show.
Gunshots.
Gunshots! First and foremost, this is actually 4 weeks past in pop culture, but I haven't had a chance to talk about it anywhere. I'd like to thank Haley and Justin for naming their child normally. It meant a lot to me, and I really, really appreciate them naming their baby Jack. I think it's the cutest little thing, and
Interesting.
I just think, like, I was so scared about having to name my baby something unique, but I love a basic name. Shout out Justin and Haley. I'm a believer. My Spotify is Jane Bieber, and I love them so much. And lastly, I'd like to thank Riley and Grace.
Oh my gosh.
I actually had so much fun. I've never been on a podcast. I watch a lot of podcasts.
Except ours, which is become apparent through this episode.
I watched the first whole episode. I'm always 4 weeks behind pop culture. I would not host my own, but this felt really great for me. I don't think I did good. I think I did fine.
I think you did great.
Okay. I feel like I'm not very good at, like, the dynamic, but I really appreciate, honestly, I will be watching episode 2 this week. Like, I promise.
She's like, I will be watching episode 4 because that's the only one I'm on.
Oh, yeah, I'll just skip to that one.
Everyone said episode 2 was their favorite.
Oh my god. I think that you guys have a great little banter, and I really do see success. And I will say, I don't think Grace told Riley this, but I had a friend text me this week, and she was like, oh my gosh, I was, like, scrolling on TikTok, and, like, I watched your sister's podcast with her friends, and it's incredible.
I love that.
So, you already have fans approaching, and I'm one of them. And I love this podcast. I'm honored to be the first ever guest. And I can't wait to see the guest that you got. Who's your guys' dream guest? Say that before the end.
Dream guest on my podcast?
Let's make it spicy. Whatever the fuck she said. Share.
Billy Joel.
And can you say a realistic dream? Like, who would you guys have on next?
Oh, next? Xenadelphia.
Yeah.
If we can get Xenadelphia on here, I will be the most professional I've ever been.
Yeah, you'll wear that same
Oh my gosh,
suit.
Riley, we gotta make that happen. You're such a good interviewer. This was so great. Like, you really have a great dialogue.
I literally came up with these questions, like, earlier this week, and this morning, I woke up so early this morning, I was like, I'm gonna review my questions, and then an hour before, I was like, I have not reviewed a single question. And I was like, it's better if I just go into it blind. Wrong.
You did
I feel
great.
like I should have reviewed.
Led the
Thank you.
blind beautifully. Like,
Thank
Three
you
Blind
so much.
Mice, never heard of them. Like,
It's us. This smells like a rotted fish is in it. I'm so sweaty. I don't think it was washed after my graduation.
did we make you nervous?
Yeah, also I didn't turn any fans on because I didn't want the audio to...
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thanks for
Yeah.
being
First and
schmear.
foremost, yay!
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning into episode 4. We had a great time, and we hope that you keep listening. And as always, love ya.
Love ya. Register to vote. See you next week.